carnivores, fueling up crooked legal system, bodies are full to score. Knowing this like the scales, deals that cage well. It's better to come together, break this bread over shells. Bang the books, homie, no use in toting the truth explosive. You ain't gotta go out to college, but make a plain focus. Entrepreneurs.
There we go. Haha. Yes, sir. It's your boy Crown One.
It's your boy Don't Blink.
What's going on, Blink, man? I've been having, you know what, like for real, I was up when the week started, and I can't even say that because my health was like in and out, you know what I'm saying, on the weekend. I missed a meeting with Pastor Parker, forgive me, Pastor. My health has just been jacked up, but I'm thankful I'm here. Thankful I'm here with my brother, our brother who kindly couldn't join us today. Has some car troubles. He's healthy though, so nobody don't worry out there in the internet world. But how you doing, man? How you
I'm
feeling?
doing good. I'm blessed, man. Highly favored. We just thank God that we have another opportunity to voice our opinion and our and state some facts about some things on this show, Future Focus, and it's a lot to talk about. It's a lot to talk about today.
Yeah,
so.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is. Man, okay, so another man down.
Man, another black man down.
Another black man down. Another God-fearing man down.
Right, right. That's important.
From the impressions that I've seen, and you're only as good as the testimony that's left about you.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? So his family and friends cared about him very much. Those who don't know, Terence Crutcher was gunned down in Tulsa, Oklahoma this past weekend.
Right.
And the video was not made available till Monday. We're just getting wind of this. I mean, we got wind of it over the weekend, but we just got an opportunity to, I don't like saying that word. We had the gut-wrenching, tear-jerking moments of watching the video. First of all, if you want to learn about this, don't go to CNN just because their video sucks. And I don't care if they have something to say about what I just said. We checked out ABC News. We checked out some other videos regarding the gunning down of a black man with his hands up. Mind you, he had his hands up in the arrest position, which is, what is that, 3 and 9? Hands interlocked behind your head.
Right.
I know this because I've heard this phrase. Many brothers who have been arrested know this phrase as well.
Right.
Yeah, it's trying to keep my throat clear and not get choked up while I'm talking about this. Terence Crutcher, 40-year-old man, and they were responding to a stalled vehicle. I believe that's what they were saying.
Right.
Yeah. So they were responding to a stalled vehicle, and 3 officers pull up. I think it's either 3 or 4.
Four.
It was 4. 4 officers. 2 on the right, 2 on the left. One officer, through the ordeal, pulled out his taser. And the other officer, I'm not even going to go into specifics on there because people will say I'm playing that card, but the other officer pulled out their lethal weapon.
Lethal weapon. It's dangerous, you just never know. You get a car stalled, you don't know you're gonna lose your life. You just never know, and it's just crazy out there that I don't know. It's just a lot that goes into that. I've talked to some spiritually minded people that will say it's the enemy, it's the devil. I'm not saying that it's not. I do believe there's some tactical things going on within the press and the media to have some type of uprising, and we want to say race, but within different people groups, and so you have to understand the outcome of what's really trying to happen, and a lot of folks have to open their eyes, and so it's just time to pray. It's been time to pray, you know, but then it's time to take action, you know, and just have something, you know, some answers for this. And I think it's just very important that, you know, we have to, you know, become one voice and talk to, you know, the powers that be and let them know this is not right, it's not okay, it's not fair, you know, and some type of restrictions has to go to these officers. Something has to happen.
Something has to happen quick. The last time something happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma, if anybody hears the name Tulsa, Oklahoma, anybody that's watching, anybody that's listening right now and says, man, that sounds familiar, like I've heard that before.
Right.
You have.
Right, you have.
The last time you probably heard about it, maybe it was your grandmother speaking about it, or maybe it was somebody that was teaching you true black history. One of the first founding, I believe the first prominent and only real prominent, with the exception of a few like Harlem, with the exception of a few, Black Wall Street.
Black Wall Street.
And actually the game has his clique is called Black Wall Street. I think the label that he has, his independent record label, the rapper, the game, the rapper, has a group called Black Wall Street. But anyway, Black Wall Street was a successful town. They had their own black businesses, their own black banks, hospitals, schools, society. Like it was society. Brothers owned car companies. They owned the taxi company. Just wealthy black people, all blackly thriving and doing international banking.
Wow.
And this was in 1921.
1921,
June,
international banking.
1st, 1921. So with this city thriving, people weren't happy about that.
Thriving economy.
Individual people weren't happy about that.
Right.
And what they did was bomb, kill, and burn the city down.
Burn it down. That's just crazy because, you know, we just, you know, they wonder why we angry. They wonder why we are so angry and why we're so, you know, violent in our approach towards things. And we're tired. And, you know, we've been tired for a long time, you know. But now that they realize we're civilized and they realize we do have some sense,
Yep.
you know, but then on top of that, they design the rules because they design the laws.
Yes, that's what I talked about before.
So-
About, you know, how forefathers attain their wealth and then want to change the rules when they get on the other side of the fence.
Change the rules up.
You know, and Tulsa, Oklahoma in 1921, not to take away from Terence Crutcher, in 1921, 600 black businesses and 1,500 homes were burned and destroyed in a 35 square mile
Wow.
radius
Wow.
in one day.
They was getting money.
So, yeah.
They was getting it.
Legally.
Illegally getting
Legally. I mean, you know, this is things that our counterparts couldn't do. And I'm not trying to throw race into it because I don't want this show to be about race all the time. However, there seems to be a systematic order against the colored people. And I am tired of seeing people, because what does that mean for anybody that does not have a reliable car? I deal with people on a daily, you know, deal with people on a daily basis that struggle with a reliable vehicle.
Right.
And they use it as their source of income.
Source of income.
And they're in areas servicing
Right.
servicing people that are privileged, and not only privileged but prominent within certain economic circles.
Wow.
And the only reason they're there is to service them. But if they're broken down, and I've had this a few times, if they're broke down, the first question is not how may I help you, what's wrong? The first question is, what are you doing here at this hour, at this time? For those that don't know, I'm a district manager for a local newspaper here in Akron, and I help carriers make ends meet. And majority of those people, it's diverse, it's very diverse, but I'd say a lot of people are of my likeness. I'll leave it at that. Back to a few days ago, his brother Terence Crutcher, 40
Right.
years old, cut his time short. We're all promised 70 years. And he was taken from this earth at 40, which is...
Woo. I'm 44.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, and it was like before I turned 25, I had this uncanny, like, just insatiable feeling that I was not going to see another day or another year. So I thank God I'm here at 25. But it's jacked up. Even if first of all, I commend the chief of Tulsa police who came out and said that Terrence did not have a gun on him,
Right.
did not have a weapon, not coming out and saying, well, we don't know what happened and we don't, you know, he may have or may not know. He came straight out and said he did not have a weapon. So that's clear. Now, the paid administrative leave of this individual, what's her name, Sarah?
Right.
Shelby. Betty Shelby. I'm not going to assault her character based on a name, but Betty Shelby, her husband was in a helicopter above viewing. So,
Wow.
well, yeah. So the phrasing, the conversation in the helicopter
Yeah.
is what's alarming to me, because from out of the heart the mouth speaks. The Bible tells us that.
Right.
If you want to pull that scripture up, I think it's in
Right.
Proverbs 18 or something like that.
Right.
But the Bible says from out of the heart the mouth speaks. So these brothers, and I can't call them that, these individuals, one being her husband who's in the helicopter, says, oh, that looks like a scary guy. You know, what did he say? She originally said, I've got a subject that won't show his hands. And in the video, you can clearly see he's wearing a white tee, which is popular amongst our people, and he's got his hands up. And he's walking away. And he's, I guess he's walking to get something. Maybe he's going to get his registration. I don't want to hear the argument that he should have listened, he should have done this and that. First of all, the more experienced officer pulled his taser. The least experienced, I don't care about time served, the one that was ready to be on the force at that time pulled his taser. The one that wasn't pulled their gun. That being Betty Shelby. Betty Shelby, back to my original point, Betty Shelby's husband said, oh, I don't know who, let me say this right, because I want to make sure my facts are straight.
Right.
We don't know who said what. The report from the Associated Press and ABC News says an individual on the inside the helicopter said, time for a taser. Now, was that instruction or commentary?
You just never know. I mean, you know, that person don't have no type of leadership role, you know, when it comes to tactical force, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
dealing with the individual. So for them to say that, you know, and to be recorded is just a very dangerous thing to say, and just to say it's time for a taser. And then, you know, shots are fired.
Then with a follow-up, the line, according to the Associated Press, was, that looks like a bad dude, probably on something, says another voice.
That's something.
So I'm interested in finding out who, I think they listed, you know, and I'm actually going to do some homework. I'm going to find out what her husband's name is and try to find out what his voice sounds like, because I'm sure he's got a Facebook video somewhere. And if his voice sounds like the individual that said, I quote, you can hear this in the video, he says, that looks like a bad dude too, probably on something. Then that lets me know the kind of character that is formed and cultivated and thriving within that household and within their hearts. Not to say that her heart is the same as his, but we know, as the Bible states, when two are married, two become one flesh, and they become one.
Right.
So they're kindred spirits and kindred in the way that they perceive the world.
Yeah, you can, you know, be one thought. I mean, you in the helicopter, your wife is down there. I mean, you gonna think like, okay,
I can respect that. But even him being large, I mean, everyone's innocent until proven guilty. unless you're colored.
Right, and the fact that you have all these multiple weapons that you can use, simultaneously with more than one officer.
Yeah.
And then that you have the right to defend yourself or whatever, to subdue a particular I won't say hostage, but a particular
suspect
or possible criminal.
Well, here's so I'm kind of ignorant, so I'm just I'm this is my commentary, but I'm ignorant to this fact. I don't know what it is, but shouldn't there be some type of procedure? If I'm a sergeant and you're a captain, don't I have command at that moment until someone who's superior comes onto the play?
Yeah.
And I think it should be the same. Maybe they're all regular officers. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the ranking is within the police force.
Right.
I don't know if there's a sergeant or lieutenant that was on, but there should have been, and there needs to be, if there isn't, some systematic order for how to approach a perp if there's multiple officers, whose seniority, who leads, who is subsequent, because it just seemed like they kind of all just converged on him in the video.
Quickly. I mean, the statement of the helicopter, whoever said it, must be on something. Okay, so we've seen them videos of, what's the drug, Flocka, or anything else that would just make. I get it. Them videos. Yeah. But he didn't look like he was on anything like
not at all.
Something that was just make him run into a wall or window or roll around on the floor naked or something crazy, lunging
with a knife.
Nothing. Even using his body.
There are countless videos right now. I challenge somebody. Open up a tab in your video. If you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook, open up a separate tab right now. Keep listening to me. If you're on podcast, listen and open up another window as you're listening, since you downloaded this and you're playing it on your Google Play or iTunes. Open up a tab and type attack on officer. You will find more non-colored videos. I guarantee it. Somebody prove me wrong. Non-colored people who are under the influence, or maybe not under the influence at all, but are lunging, attacking, trying to murder their assailant, the good guys, and they're still apprehended and get to go home and get tried. However, whenever it's a person of color, just off of suspicion, because the human mind is impressionable, and there are systematic advertisements and all that different stuff that create different stereotypes and different mental processes. But even with that, if you're paid, you work for the people of the city that you're protecting.
Right.
So you need to be prepared to deal with the people of that city and be prepared mentally. I don't think there's enough mental training. And like Kaepernick said, we got people that are more qualified to hold a curling iron than people that are holding a gun.
So seeing this, sad to say, it's not going to be the last time we see this, which is heart wrenching. You wired down the
hurts.
We walk in. We don't only walk in fear, we drive in fear of not of the gang member, only the gang member that's who riding or ghost riding. Now we're fearing the protectors, right? Mm-hmm. And so, what do you think is going to happen? Okay, you got that going on. You have all kind of other events or things or harmful things done to us. Not subliminal, because this is on the video. It is more than one video. Why is this happening?
Yeah.
And it's just dangerous that this is going on over and over again. So my question to you, Steve, is what do you think is going to happen when it's all said and done? What do you think is going to happen
with this situation, or just
the whole
spectrum?
Just the whole spectrum of senseless, one can say senseless, but to us senseless, violent black African male killings by law officers, SWAT team, whatever. Mm-hmm. We're unarmed, you know what I'm saying, but we're still considered dangerous.
Right.
What do you think is going to happen? What do you think?
Well, okay. First, I think we need to address that there is no I could name one militant, civil, urban black leader, and that's Brother Polite.
Okay.
All right. Other than him, there are leaders
Okay.
that are not militant. I
Right.
think.
Right.
Dr. Why am I forgetting his name? Forgive me, Lord. That's jacked up. And he was in Akron, and you didn't tell me he was in Akron. I remember that. But basically, my thing is, you will see, it's already happening, where it's not people coming to Christ, but people that were once enemies are coming together and aligning. My response to that is, or my allusion to that is Crips and Bloods,
Okay.
where they are aligning, right?
Right.
For a cause.
Right.
We already see it. There's a video circulating where there was a rally, and the Confederates in trucks were saying, "Let's hang those N-words, do this and that." So that's going to continue to escalate.
Right.
Okay, at the culmination of all these shootings and stuff
Okay.
like that.
Okay.
Some people that are going to be responding in emotion but are not led are just going to react.
Okay.
That's what's going to happen.
Okay.
It's inevitable. Those that are proactive in their hate will react. That are pro-police and pro this and pro that. They're going to react. So you're going to have both sides that do not have a leader, and technically one side has a leader in Trump. They're going to react, but they're disorganized.
Right.
Then you have the organized, which is subjugating black people to these killings that we're seeing on video.
Right.
That being the police and soldiers who have a contract and an oath and a commitment to serve and do whatever the government tells them.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is there's going to be reactions on both sides based on emotion,
Right.
violence,
Right.
and then there's going to be other people that are going to be civilly and socially and politically trying to make advancements and changes. However, the failure of the civil rights movement was inclusion and not independence. We traded our independence for inclusion. There's
Right.
nothing wrong with being included, but with our inclusion, we had no independence. And when we did independence, yeah, they came at us, but we never tried to rebuild that until recently.
So you're saying
that's-
so a number of things going to happen. You're talking about reaction.
Anarchy is going to happen.
Anarchy.
That's the word of the day, folks.
Okay. So you're saying different leaders in the different movements is going to begin to,
Yes.
raise some sand and begin to react in some violent, non-violent,
Primarily, violence is going to happen.
Primarily
It's
violence.
prophesied, but I feel that's the way it's going to go. And case in point, the Game and Snoop Dogg, in reaction to the killings way before Terrence, were actually going to do some damage because they hold a lot of weight in what I just stated earlier, in these gang cultures.
Right. Right.
They push a button, the West Coast is back to Watts riots. That's it.
Man.
But they chose the higher path. And Snoop was going to follow Game's lead. So what I'm saying is it may not be people that subjugate to the leadership of Snoop Dogg or subjugate to those people that are considered OGs and such, right?
Right. Right.
So they're going to react. You'll have racist white people and black people that are just tired and fed up that have access to certain weapons. They're just going to react. That happened in Dallas.
Yes.
That happened down in Texas, where one individual reacted and took out several officers, I believe 6. So imagine that happening multiplied over and over. People that are misguided, not led, and frustrated, and only know how to respond in emotion.
So at this point, you're talking about not even organized.
No.
You're talking about just people with guns.
Yes.
You're not talking about no type of militia.
No.
Militia trained.
No.
I
mean, it'll be a militia.
Yeah.
It'll be just angry mob people,
with
sick and
guns.
tired of being oppressed.
Wow.
Because the Baltimore protests, Black Lives Matter and stuff like that, they were peaceful.
Right.
There were people that jumped in and tried to pretend to be Black Lives Matter and throw rocks and stuff like that.
Right.
But imagine and it's not far-fetched either, a world where those same people get guns.
Get guns.
And I'm not saying be proactive, but be reactive. And that is why you're seeing an influx of militarization of the police force.
Yeah.
Even in Akron, we got tanks for the APD and all these heavy-duty, non-piercing armory type vehicles that I've seen on the street. You're just out. I'm like, why? What's up with this?
Wow.
So that's what I'm saying. That's where the world is going. Personally, I think. And then you'll have people that are organized and trained, maybe ex-military, so on and so forth, that may organize these people. And there's countless KKK members and different neo-Nazis that are members of these organizations, but police our streets at night or hold high-ranking military positions.
Wow.
And have war experience.
Wow.
And have that predisposition to go after one particular group. Maybe that group isn't against blacks. Maybe that group is against foreigners. Refugees.
Right.
So you're talking about anarchy, and people that are in political power and have that kind of clout are very dangerous when it comes to that. We're talking anarchy here. That's what I feel is going to happen. And there's a bit of I think a lot of people that have considered it, but were sane enough not to do that.
Right.
But if it comes to me and my family, I'll do whatever it takes to protect them.
Castle law. Right.
Castle law.
The castle law.
Yeah. So I pay my respects to Terence Crutcher and his family. I pray that you are blessed and that you are greeted with the presence of Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit in these hours. Shout out to Al Sharpton, planning on coming to Tulsa on behalf of the Crutcher family, at a request of the Crutcher family. We're hoping that the justice will be served righteously and that it will not be biased. One of the things that is kind of jacked up about that is, correct me if I'm wrong, I'll have to fact check it. Actually, make your comment, man. I'm about to look this up because I saw an article by one of our brothers regarding that, and I want to make sure that before I say anything, that I'm right. I don't want to report bad, talk about something, and then I'm wrong.
Well, so we understand as Christians there's a lot of prayer that has to be raised up so anarchy doesn't happen, that things, get rectified peaceably. And with the love of Christ, we want these things to happen, but we're seeing these uprisings, we're seeing how this is happening. In our closing of the show, I just wanted to say that it's just sad, and it affects all of us. And if you don't think it affects you, and I don't care what race you are, it affects all of us. All lives matter, and so see someone die on this level is scary. It's very scary. It's not back in the. It's not like we're in a some sadistic individual in a corner somewhere looking at a snuff video.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And something in my mind says, I love the pleasure of seeing someone get murdered on video. This is happening out in the opening, on an expressway somewhere, and you're getting gunned down. Night, daytime, doesn't even matter. And that's just sad that this sickness and this hatred, this rage, which our spirits are being unleashed on innocent individuals.